And welcome back to another episode. And today we're going to be working on chapter 15 to 17, focusing on the analysis or summary of the 3 chapters, 15, 16, 17. Yes, 3 chapters. And also, I just want to let you know that we do have a quiz that's going on throughout the video. So please just look around for the options to join us. And yeah, looking towards it. Let's start. Okay. I know I should have probably introduced this earlier, but we're just going to go with it for now. So, Pi is introduced as a deeply religious person. The writer notices that the adult Pi's home contains Hindu, Christianity, and Islamic objects. His faith is part of his daily life, and Pi learns through curiosity. This is how you learn through every other day things as well. If you want to memorize something, learn it through curiosity. So Pi asks questions, but because he wants to understand God very deeply, not because he wants to reject other religions, he just wants to understand. Hence why he was asking so many questions later in this analysis. These chapters now build a theme: faith, identity, religion, tolerance, and love, becoming key ideas in this Pi's characterization. If you don't know these religions, it is fine. We are going to go through it. I am explaining this as if you don't know all of these. Just if you do know what these are, answer the question below and then move a little bit ahead to the next chapter. So Hinduism is basically Pi's first religion, the one he was born in, basically. He connects it with color, ritual, music, temples, symbols, and a sense of everything that contains something divine. Then he's also now introduced to Christianity. Pi meets Christianity through Father Martin. He struggles with Jesus, suffering, but becomes interested in the idea of divine love. When we spoke about when we read about Pi asking about, why would someone suffer? And the answer is love. That made no sense to him. And then the other part is Islam. In chapter 15, there was some Islamic objects in adult Pi's home. This prepares us for the next chapter, where Pi also discovers Islam. So basically, the key idea here is you are needing to understand that Pi sees different religions as ways of loving and approaching God. A summary of chapter 15. Here, the writer is visiting Pi's home and is describing it. It is filled with religious objects, Hinduism, Christianity, and Islam. Why this matters is because Pi's home shows that religion is still central to his adult life. His faith is not temporary or childish. For you, the house symbols Pi's open-minded to faith, many religious traditions, but one sincere search for God. One home, many symbols, one spiritual identity. In chapter 15, we have had a lot. We started off with the Indian or Hindu gods. Then we moved on to the Bible from Christianity, and then we moved to a little bit of the Islamic beliefs as well. So Ganesha, and I'm really sorry if I butcher any of these names, but please forgive me. Ganesha is a Hindu god linked to wisdom, learning, and removing obstacles. Shiva as Nataraja is a Hindu image of Shiva as a cosmic dancer, as you can see in the picture there, linked to time and the universe, and you can see there's the little galaxies around him. And then we have Krishna, a Hindu god often linked to love, playfulness, and devotion. Then we move on to the crucifix from the Bible, a cross showing Jesus, symbolizing his suffering and sacrifice. Then the Bible, the Holy Book, which many of us are familiar with. The Virgin Mary, who is the mother of Jesus in the Christianity. Then we move on to Islam, where we have the Kaaba, which is the holiest of sites in Islam, found in Mecca. They use a prayer rug, a mat used by Muslims during prayer. We've also introduced Allah, which is the Arabic word for God. There's a shrine. Now, shrines can come in various different forms. This was just the one I found available. And it's a small sacred place used for worship or prayer. There are many different shrines in many of the different cultures and religions that are around the world. Artifacts is an object with cultural or historical with religious meaning. There are several different types of artifacts, that's why there's no picture, and symbolism, when an object represents a deeper idea. So a lot of the pictures that I have here are forms of symbolism, actually. Chapter 16, Pi's Hindu's Beginning. So Pi was first introduced to Hinduism faith through Auntie Rohini, who takes baby Pi to a Hindu temple. He, of course, does not remember that, although he cannot remember everything clearly. The sounds, colors, smells, and rituals stay with him. That is usually how memories are created, through sound, colors, the smell of the area, and any routines that happen in that area. It has shaped Pi, especially at home, as he obviously focuses on his Hindu worship. It gives him a sense of belonging and helps him understand his place in the universe. This is his home, so to speak. An important message for you guys to understand is Pi warns against being possessive or jealous about God. He believes different religions can reflect on one another. So you need to remember that in this story, faith begins with wonder. Pi experiences religion through these senses of color, sound, smell, movement, and feeling. So when he's gone through all these different faiths, this is what he is thinking through. Words that we do get introduced as samskara, a Hindu rite of passage of important life ceremony. In different religions, there are different life ceremonies. I think baptism is one of them, and then we've got a quinceañera for another religion. All these different types of very important rite of passages. I know in the African cultures, there are several different forms of rite of passages, especially when people are growing up. Incense, which is a material burned to create a sacred or pleasant smell. I use incense just to make my house smell lovely, but there is also a time where you use it in certain areas for religious aspects. Kumkum is a red powder used by Hindu rituals. Turmeric, which we can use in food, is a yellow powder used in cooking and also in rituals. Arati is a Hindu ritual using flame or light as an offering. Bhajans, a devotional song sung in worship. Murti, an image or state of a Hindu god. Prasad is a blessed food offered to God and then shared. Brahman, the ultimate divine reality or world of soul in Hinduism. Atman, the soul or spiritual self within a person. Karma, the belief that actions have spiritual consequences. We usually use that word commonly when we believe that someone's done something bad to us. And we always say karma will come for them. Then we have Avatar, a god appearing in an earthly form. Not the Avatar, the movies, or the Airbender. Do not get them confused. This is just a character. I mean, if I go back, where is it now? These are, for example, avatars here. That is what an avatar is. Okay. Alright, moving on to chapter 17. Pi is now 14 and has gone on holiday to Munnar. He notices 3 hills. On the 3 hills, one of them has a Hindu temple, in the middle a mosque, and on the far side a Christian church. Pi struggles to understand why Jesus suffers and dies. Compared to Hindu gods, Jesus seems very human and very vulnerable. The turning point is that Father Martin keeps giving one central answer to every single question that Pi asks of why would Jesus want to suffer love. Pi begins to see Christianity through this idea. Pi then decides he's now going to choose to become Christian. And Martin says he already is, because we are all part of God and we are all of his children. He prays in church and thanks Krishna for leading him to Jesus. Pi does not replace one faith with another. He adds it to his understanding of God. In chapter 17, here are the words we need to know and understand. Church, which is a place of worship. A priest who's a religious leader. A parish, which is a local church community. Sanctum, a sacred inner place. Sacrifice, giving up something important. In this idea, Jesus' death is seen as a sacrifice. Divinity, the quality of being a god or godlike. Trinity, this is the God as a Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Resurrected, brought back to life as a zombie. No, just brought back to life. He's not a zombie. The Passion of Christ is the suffering and the death of Jesus. Vulnerable, able to be hurt, harmed, and affected. Indignation, strong anger because something feels unfair or wrong. Compelling, powerful, convincing, or deeply interesting. During the exam, you need to understand the themes. In this case, faith, which is Pi's belief, is active and personal. It shapes how he sees the world and how he understands suffering later. Religious tolerance. He respects different religions and sees them as connected by the search for God. Identity. Pi's identity is not simple. Definitely not in this story. He is shaped by family, culture, curiosity, and belief. Love. Christianity becomes meaningful to Pi because Father Martin presents love as its central message. Curiosity. Pi is not passive. He explores, questions, compares, and tries to understand. And you should too. Then we have symbolism. Pi's home and 3 hills in Manaus visually represent his spiritual journey. Now, as a final recap, remember, chapter 15, we explain Pi's home and his multi-faith identity. This is his adult home that we're talking about. Chapter 16, Hinduism gives him Pi, his first religion, and then Christianity teaches Pi about love, sacrifice, and vulnerability. You need to remember, Pi is curious, open-minded, and deeply sincere in his search for God. The next lesson we'll be focusing is on chapter 18 to 20. I will try and do an analysis and explanation of certain words first before I do reading again. Otherwise, have a lovely day, like and subscribe. Bye for now.